he'll either be broke or dead soon. We've talked about this guy, XQC, before on the show. He is one of the top streamers in the world. He signed $100 million contract with Kick earlier this year. $100 million contract. Now, when Kick first launched, the initial thought was, well, it's owned by this gambling company, and they're going to put gambling in all their contracts and stuff. And they came out and said, no, we're not going to have that in any of our contracts. But what you've seen over the last few months is a lot of these streamers who signed these deals, they have a lot of money now, and now they are ultimately gambling that money on
their own
stream.
volition. Are they? Do you think they're just doing it by coincidence? Like, it's like, well, now I've got a bunch of cash, and I guess I can make even more by gambling.
I'm guessing that's the case. But this guy XQC has been gambling, and I don't really know what this, you just gamble online. I guess it's like a slot machine thing or something.
No idea how it works. I've never done it.
Neither have I. It seems like a really dumb thing. Like, I'm not a huge gambling fan. I lost like $300 one time, and I was like, no, I'm done. I'm pretty good for life. But there is an allure to gambling, right? Eric, Kayla, do you guys ever go to Vegas or gamble or anything like that?
I like to keep my money, so I don't gamble.
You should all come to the Vegas meetup, though. The Vegas meetups are fun.
I just waste my money on collecting old video games.
Yeah. He's good at losing money in other ways.
It's valuable in the future. It's investment.
Right. It'll be worth something soon, I promise.
Yeah.
Would you like a copy of Steel Battalion with a controller for Xbox? Takes up a lot of space.
Okay, so this guy XQC, he has got into he like gambles pretty frequently on his streams, and that's a very popular thing. People love to see the ups and downs that go along with gambling, mostly downs, right? But I have family members. I think my mom you can do like gamble on your phone now, but you get like gift cards and stuff. And I think at one point my mom or my sister won like $500 or something, or like a $500 gift card. And they're like, oh, we won. It's great. I was like, well, how much money did you spend to get that? They're like, oh, whatever. But XQC is on another level here. This guy, Felix, he is super duper wealthy. And he was streaming I guess he was doing this 2 years ago when he was on Twitch, and he was doing this, but he's kind of upped his game a little bit to where 2 years ago when he was doing $40 spins on these roulette wheels or these slot machines online, which I don't know why anybody would ever play slots, but whatever, which a $40 spin seems like a pretty insane idea. Like $40, that's a ton of money. Mm-hmm. And he's throwing these down spins 2 years ago. How much do you think he's doing per spin now?
$1,000.
$1,000?
Quick question. Is he streaming his gambling? Like, is he saying, watch me gamble and watch me freak out when I lose a bunch?
Yes.
Okay. So I think it makes perfect sense that's what he's doing now. If he started doing that for fun, because if he started doing it for fun in his spare time, and he knows that he's a streamer who, he has a bizarre personality, but not necessarily a lot to add to any given thing, which is why there was the whole controversy about him freebooting other people's content and just watching streams and saying something every hour and calling that a show. So now he's like, well, if I'm gambling in my spare time and these people like seeing me freak out when I gamble, I can be taking in super chats and stuff like that. So people might say, I'd be like, no more $40 rolls. That's not happening. And then boom, you get $40 super chats because you're streaming to like 30,000 people because XQC is huge for some reason. I mean, I don't think it's good, but it makes sense why he'd be doing it if it's his like hobby anyways.
All right. So the chat. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Eric.
I think most of the money that he's gambling is like promotional credits that the companies are sending him to advertise their online gambling sites to his viewers. And so
I want you to keep that thought in mind. Keep that thought in mind, because I don't know if their budgets are this large, but I'll tell you, chat has put up several, I asked how much is he doing per spin now? They say $1,000. Op came in with 200. SWD says 5,000.
Jesus.
Blake says 10,000, right? I want to let you guys know you're all wrong. Everybody's wrong, and you lowballed it tremendously.
Holy hell.
2 years ago, he was doing $40 spins. Now he's doing $50,000 spins
Jesus.
in online gambling, which is crazy. But that's not the craziest part of this story. The craziest part of the story is the total amount of money that he has wagered in this. Keeping in mind that he has signed a $100 million contract with Kick. And over the course of his statistics page, according to Stake, which is the parent company of Kick. Well, I'll tell you once again, I like to hear what you guys think. How much total money do you think that he has wagered since his stats showed up on September 20th? Well, so throughout the lifetime of his gambling, I'm going to say habit at this point. Mark, you start.
One thing that I wonder, and I think that this might be playing in this, as people were saying, like, do you think he's being paid by people to gamble or being given free credits? It's very possible that the famous $100 million deal, it's very possible that some of that was like, but you will gamble at least this much in before the end of the contract. So maybe it could be like 50 million of that is like, yeah, this is what you're gambling with though, over the course of 5 years or whatever. Mm-hmm. So make sure that you are doing spins at least once a week for 5 years on our platform. And this money is only for that. And we will be giving it to you on a basis based on what what your roles are. I'm thinking that a deal like that might be in place because we hear the $100 million deal, but also it's like, well, where did Kick get all that money from to be thrown out those? It's like, it's not, I mean, they're a tech company, so them having money isn't crazy, especially if they have startup investments and things like that. Yeah. But I feel like a lot of those deals have back end aspects that turn them into a $100 million deal, even if it's just like 20 million today. And we'll figure out the rest over time. But the full value of this, if for the next 5 years, you get all the, bullet points of the contract taken care of, you will have this much money given to you over that time.
Okay.
I mean, that might be a boring answer, but it's kind of what I think is most likely.
No, it's a logical answer. And I think that makes sense until you hear the amount that he's actually wagered. So we'll save the Price is Right game here and let you know that in his lifetime, and I can't even believe I'm going to say this number, he has wagered $2.6 billion on this machine and $1.1 billion since he showed his stats on September 20th. So in his lifetime, $2.6 billion. What?
I retract my prior statement. There's no way Kick's giving this guy $2 billion to have fun with on stream. That's wild. I mean, he has to be winning a lot though, right?
Well, right.
I mean, that's sort of the only way that makes any sense. I mean, I guess you could always look at the odds of winning per spin of, say, a roulette wheel. And if you have no limit on the gamble, on like the bet that you can place, you could theoretically always make your money back if you're consistently doubling your bets. So he would just need to find a website that has no ceiling on the bet as this place. If you can bet 50,000 on a roll, then yeah, that they can't have a bet ceiling there. That means you could probably always keep doubling it until he makes what he made back and more, right? So I don't know. It might be some weird like card counting that you can only do if you're a billionaire who's 22 years old or whatever he is.
Right.
Because most people
he's winning 10% of the time there.
Well, that's the thing. When you look at his, they have full statistics here. And it was a joke in the chat was, are you Ugly Bastard said, are you sure it's not pesos? Well, it's very clearly a dollar figure here.
It might be Canadian dollars. He's Canadian.
Maybe.
Doesn't he live in like LA though now?
Oh, I don't know, but he's
$500 million in 20 days. That seems impossible. How is that even possible?
If there's
Well,
no
that's-
limit on the betting, it's not that impossible. It doesn't take long to do a spin of a.
How do
Of
you
a
even
wheel.
have a half a billion dollars to spend?
That's the only limiter. But if he has it, he can do it.
Yikes!
Is he cashing out, or is he just banking all of his?
I think it's rotating through the same account, very likely. But again, I don't know anything about the guy beyond we did an EFAP episode where we were reacting to him, and I had a revelation where I found out that he was French Canadian and not like Swedish or something. I was kind of hearing his voice and not understanding what he was saying, but someone told me he was French Canadian. I just had this like, oh my god, I understand everything. I get it now. Army medic in Canada, and there's a lot of army medics who are from Quebec, so I know Franglish quite well, Canadian Franglish.
So there's more here, and once again, there's obviously a major addiction here. Like you don't gamble $1 million without being extremely, I'd say, I'm not gonna say risk averse. It's the opposite of risk averse. Risky with your money. I mean, it's called gambling for a reason, right? It's not called winning. But he's clearly addicted here, and you can see some of the he's had some major wins, which was just one night, by the way. Some major wins. He had a win of $378,000, $620,000, $259,000, $300,000. This is just a single night, by the way. This is over $1 million won in a single night, almost $1.5 million on a single night, which is
Those are jackpots. But if he's betting $50,000 a spin,
right, exactly.
Really that
So
big of winning.
I've never actually seen him react here. Let's check this out.
All right, Max, nudge 3.
Hold on. Give him lines. Give him. Oh my god. I'm the coach. Give him a fucking massive nudge. Hey. Look at these calls. Look at these calls, man.
Okay, so he's obviously happy that he's winning that, as anybody in their rightful mind would be.
Most people would be.
But let's be real.
No
Like,
idea what that game is. Like what?
right.
What is going on?
Exactly.
All he sees is the big numbers, and then he's like, "Oh, that's a lot of money. I don't know what I'm doing."
Exactly, and that's all you see on these casino machines is specifically when it comes to some sort of slot machine is it's just like bright lights and it's just dopamine hit. Oh, and here's a line here and a line here. This is good. Here's a multiplier. Whoa, my gosh! It's to say this is something that's not even fathomable is an understatement. I like when you're dealing with billions of dollars bet from one person. Now, granted, this is one of the most popular streamers online. It's insane, but he's had some big wins, but he's also had losses that have added up, as pointed out. He's down $15 million in November.
That doesn't even sound like that much in the context of everything else.
No.
Right.
Is it possible that this is just all for marketing?
I think he's playing with house money.
And that all of the money is just monopoly money, and they're just like, saying, here's, $100 million to play
I think
with.
he's using promotional credits for marketing.
That is certainly a possibility as well.
And he's not cashing any of it out, so it doesn't even matter what he's making because he's just rolling it to the next one. So it's probably just fake money, right?
Well,
Just to try to entice his viewers to gamble because
Yeah.
it's exciting because of the dopamine hit.
Look at him, how excited he is. Don't you want to be that?
He's confirmed that he has 2 deals, one with Kick and one with Stake, and he has no requirements.
Yeah, right.
Interesting.
Right. So he confirmed 2 separate deals, one with Kick, one with Stake, that are completely independent. They're not lumped in. They're not one. If Stake wasn't banned on Twitch, I would still do it on Twitch. As for how much XQC's deal worth with Stake could be worth, simple math suggests that it's somewhere between $150 and $175 million, as XQC revealed that combining the Kick and Stake deals could be worth up to $275 million. This is
Even that sounds like pennies compared to the money we're talking about.
Right?
You guys got to understand, $1 billion is 1,000 million. Remember
Right.
that?
right.
A lot of money, man.
If I put both together in the contract and had one number, it would probably be like $275 million, but it's not because I don't want to do that. I want to keep it separate. I I mean, I don't even know where to begin. Like the fact that companies are handing out that much money, the fact that they see it as, okay, let's just say this is a $175 million deal with stake, right? And they're like, hey, we're going to give you $100 million, and we're going to give it, or we're going to give you $75 million, and we're going to give you $100 million worth of credit, right? He still wagered $2 billion.
Yeah, that's what's wild about it. But I mean, at the same time, I don't know if he does it because again, I'm never going to watch a XQC gambling stream. It's just not going to happen. But I gather he's probably getting super chats or donations, or I guess what are they called on Kick? Are they just Kick chats? I guess I don't know. But if he gets those that have like, yeah, if they have like $1,000 and he's got pot for next spin going, and he's gaining money from people who like doing vicarious gambling, I suppose, and like seeing the ups and downs without having the consequence. They give him a lot of money to do it, and he keeps doing it. So I think that it's a cycle of a probably very unhealthy way to create parasocial relationships with a lot of people who might need help with gambling problems. I don't approve of it. I think it's all not good. But
right. Sarah says it's obviously fake. These sites give fake credit and rig the odds for specific people. What has he actually cashed out is the question.
Probably the 175 million contract is what he's cashed out.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, I wonder.
That's
I wonder if
money for him to just retire too. Like, it's
Right.
not like-
Right.
I wonder if he's just getting. SWD said the same thing. Like, I just wonder if he's getting donations from his viewers. That's what he actually makes from all of his views and ads and stuff. But they're just giving him that contract money just to spend it on their site. Yeah. So they're getting that money back. Yeah, it just doesn't seem.
They're probably seeing a high return of people signing up to gamble on their website from his streams. So
it's just doesn't seem real.
No, and this is so fake, funny money. Even credits, whatever. Like, oh, we're going to give you $100 million from the credits. Still, $2 billion in credits. Like, let's say those credits are worth 50 cents a credit. It's still $1 billion. Whatever. The whole thing is just.
Yeah, but you're assuming he'll be able to cash it out,
right?
I don't think he can probably even cash that stuff out. He's got to play with it.
Maybe he can cash it out if he makes above what they paid him, though, or like above the allowance of funny money that they gave him. Because ultimately, if he's gone above that, it's like, well, at this point, I'm just using your site, right?
Yeah.
I don't.
They might start saying, "Hey, you got some limits on how high you can bet."
Or they say, "Hey, you have no limits. You're the big roller, baby. Let's keep on pumping that in." Well, I mean, good for him, I guess. Or, as I put in the title of the thumbnail today on today's show, he'll either be broke or dead soon, because he's either going to owe somebody a lot of money or he's going to be broke as shit. So. And if you owe people money, they will come after you. I promise you that. But what do you think about this? Leave us a comment down below. We read every single one of them. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because you have found your home for common sense in the gaming and entertainment worlds.